So you want to learn how to read tarot, but it's a little daunting. There's a lot to know about it. Like there's 78 cards. They all have different meanings. Well, don't worry. There's something called oracle cards, and oracle cards are a lot easier to read for people who are trying to get into the spiritual world, but they're not quite ready to commit to tarot. So I'm going to teach you how to read oracle cards. This is great for beginners. It's great for anyone, really. If you've never even touched a deck of cards in your life, this is something that you can do. I promise you. Okay, I'm going to make it super simple and super easy. And I'm going to show you with this deck right here. Okay, this is the deck. I made these myself. They're angel cards. Okay, there's a bunch of different kind of oracle cards. You can't go wrong. Get whatever oracle deck you feel called to. When you see it and you feel kind of drawn to it, that's the deck that you should buy. Okay, but for today's example, I'm going to use angel cards. Okay, so these are angels that I have channeled myself. I channeled all these cards and I've seen all these angels. Really cool. But let's get into it. So you want to start by holding your deck, okay? And you want to make sure you're in an atmosphere to where no one's going to interrupt you, because you're going to be feeling energy. So if there's any energy going on around you, it's going to disrupt what you are feeling. And it's so subtle that you're not going to want the interruption because you'll miss it. So this is for beginners. It's really good to do this when, at night, whenever like everyone in the house is asleep, or when you're by yourself and you can just have a moment of calmness. Okay, it helps to turn off everything. Turn off your TV, turn off close your windows so you're not hearing chaos happening outside, and it helps to dim the lights. Maybe even have it be dark with just a candle going, because it will help completely put your focus on the energy happening in the reading. The less distractions you can have, the better. That's why I say the darker room, right? So that you're not seeing all the stimulation around you to distract your senses. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do to be able to read the most accurately. Okay, so after you do that, you're going to want to sit down with your deck and you're going to want to set an intention for the reading. What do I want to know? What do I want to get out of this reading? What is the purpose of this reading? Okay, and then after you decide that, so right now, we're going to do this right now. I'm just going to do it from the beginning. The intention for this reading is to give a message to everyone watching this on how to enhance your psychic abilities. Okay, that's my intention for this deck. We're going to pull a card and we're going to get some guidance on what you can do. Okay, that's my intention. I've said it. And the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're getting your information from the highest vibration, because there's vibrations that exist everywhere. Everything's a vibration, right? Not necessarily a bad vibration. Energy is just energy, right? But if it's not a vibrational match to what you're wanting, then it can be skewed. We want vibrational matches from the highest frequency of love. So after you have your intention set, you want to state, please help me connect with a frequency of love and light, of the highest frequency, of God, whatever, however you want to word it, doesn't really matter. But as long as you set that standard, like nothing else of any other vibration can come through other than that of love. Okay? We want information that matches love to come through. Okay? So when you do those two things, you are ready. You're ready to do it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to let your intuition kind of guide you on which card. We're only going to pull one card. Okay, you can do this every day, but I would only pull one card. Okay, we're working with one card here. Okay, so you can do this however you feel drawn to do. You can shuffle the deck, you can split the deck, you could take the top card, whatever you feel called to do. I like to shuffle until a card falls out, but you do whatever you feel called to do. So I'm going to just go ahead, I'm going to split the deck and I'm going to start by just shuffling it, doing like a basic shuffle here. Okay, and you can do it as many times as you want. You can do it once, you do it 5 times. You're doing your own intuition here. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, and I'm just going to kind of let a card fall out. And if the cards fall and they all fall face down, I keep going. But if a card falls out and it's face up, then I'm like, okay, you're my card, you're my card. Okay, so this 2 cards fell out, so I'm going to put it back because we only want 1 card, okay? And if this doesn't work for you, do not do it this way. Do it your way, okay? I just really like when the cards fell out. Okay, card fell out. So the card that fell out was Germain. Okay, so now whatever card you have, what I want you to do is I want you to look at it. And if your card has like wording or a quote on it, just wait to read that, okay? Because we're going to use our intuition to get answers first. So what I want you to do is I want you to use your psychic senses. Look at the card. Don't think about the card. Let your mind go blank and let the card tell you what you need to know. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to let my mind go blank, and it's going to come to me either clairvoyantly, like as a daydream. Like I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at this card, and I'm just going to let my mind go blank, and maybe a daydream comes to me. Maybe a song comes to my mind clairaudiently, right? Maybe a word pops into my head. Maybe I just feel something looking at the card, right? Let your mind relax and let the movie play out however it will. That's why I'm saying you're going to have to really shut off all the stimulation happening around you, because it's so subtle that if you're not totally tuned in and paying attention, you might miss it, okay? So don't expect to see, anything crazy like a psychedelic show. It's going to be very subtle, like you're daydreaming. It's going to feel like you're just daydreaming, okay? But you receive the daydream. You're not thinking the daydream, okay? But that's just clairvoyantly. Maybe you get it clairaudiently. Like I said, thoughts that pop in your head. Did you think the thought or did you receive the thought? Where did that thought come from? Ask yourself that. Okay, so I'm going to let my mind go blank now, and I'm going to look at this card, and we've already set our intention, right? Or how do we develop our psychic abilities? And we already know, because before we did the deck, we said we want to channel from love, okay? So this is coming from love. What can you do? Okay. Well, the first thing I'm hearing immediately is that you're focusing too much on what you can see with your eyes and not enough on what you can see with your third eye. Okay, your third eye, the daydream. I feel like a lot of you you're very clairvoyant and you don't realize it. There was a time in my life where I still do this, but I would just daydream, and it's almost like you don't even realize you're daydreaming. You just do it so much, someone will be talking to you, and a daydream pops into your head. And if you ask people, if you start validating those daydreams, you'll realize that whatever you're daydreaming about could actually have something to do with what's going on in their life, and you're just picking up on it psychically. So it felt like, I daydream all day long. Actually, no, you're just super psychic, and you're receiving clairvoyant information, okay? So that's the first thing I'm saying. Stop focusing so much on your eyes. I know a lot of people talk about seeing spirits, and they talk about it as if they're seeing it with their physical eyes, but it's not the case for everyone. In fact, most people see it out of their third eye. So when you can really develop that skill, it's going to get a lot stronger. And it's going to, like I said, it's going to feel like a daydream. So practice doing your clairvoyant exercises. The best thing to do, everyone talks about, here's these exercises you can do. I think you either have it or you don't. And the only way you can actually exercise it is to just read people, okay? Read people. And then test it, get the feedback, and see, okay, so I saw a rose, and so when I asked them, they said that the rose had to do with gardening. So maybe it's like every time I see a rose, it means gardening. So then I read the next person, and I ask them I see the rose again, so I asked them if they do gardening. They said no. Okay, so maybe the rose doesn't mean gardening. And then you find out, okay, it was an anniversary, right? So it's like, maybe I need to tune in a little bit more. So then the third person, you see the flower. But now, instead of only using your clairvoyance, you're like, okay, I've seen this rose, and both times the rose came up, I had two different meanings. So, Spirit, can you give me a little bit more information about this rose? What does this rose mean? Why are you showing me a rose? And then boom, all of a sudden, clairaudiently, the song starts playing in your mind, and it's a love song. And you're like, then claircognizantly, clear knowing, you just have this feeling like you just met someone and you were head over heels. So then you see how instead of just using the first thing that came to me, we asked a little bit more information until we get, all of our senses are starting to play into the information. And now you can give a really accurate reading. Okay, so I'm running out of time here. So that is your first lesson on your oracle reading. Let me know, did it work for you? Did it make sense? And if you would like to practice on me, you can do that, and I'll validate everything in the comments. But what do you think that I need to know? Look at this card and ask your spirit guides to help with this. What do I need to know? Okay?